isn't useful. They are, and I agree with you. But I think what the emphasis is it needs to be a clinically driven model, not a CBRS driven model. And if you have good tenets of understanding clinically as to why that CBRS person should be in there, and carefully supervising that person through your therapy in contact with the CBRS technician, I think you're going to be good to go. I hope that answers the question. I've got a couple of these. Something almost feels like it must have jumped up in my mouth. You talk about Idaho, you talk about how much cost of Medicaid was going up in Idaho, but the news report says Optum gets $3.5 million a month to manage Medicaid in Idaho. Is that true, and wouldn't it be better if it was spent on clients? Well, I don't know if the number's true because that's really not my role as the clinical director at Optum Idaho, but I suspect that a substantial amount of money is being spent on Idaho clients. I don't know exactly what the monthly total is, but 3.5 million sounds like a lot. Let's see. Do you supervise care managers? And if I understand, you're talking about the care managers at Optum, whoever wrote the question. And the answer is yes, they are supervised by a senior clinician who's also a master's level clinician, and that person is overseen by me. So supervision occurs, and there are accountability measures that we use in Optum when folks are on the phone with you, because we regard their role with you as being frontline. And if you take the first 2 months and put it aside, because I think both parties calling in that situation where you were on hold for so long, and they were looking at a queue with 75 people waiting all day long. Both parties in that conversation needed some support. Unfortunately, we, I think, have gotten that support that was so needed. So the care managers are supervised. Now, the other issue is because, well, this is the follow-up, because we get different answers to the same questions every time we call in. That's a legitimate criticism. And that's particularly true when the system was under pressure and using resources that weren't as familiar with our model. And that can be very frustrating for you, trying to get a direct line in terms of an answer about this question from that issue. So, the answer is yes. There is inconsistency in the care managers, and that is an issue that's being addressed.